Hey YouTube, I'm Steven, and guess what? Next week I'm going to do another episode of Ask Me Anything, so if you want your question answered, all the links will be in the info section below. You can message me on Facebook, Twitter, right here on YouTube, or email me at StevensSaysShit@gmail.com. October is anti-bullying month, and I've actually wanted to talk about bullying for quite some time now, so I figured now would be the perfect time to do it. Back in elementary school, I was bullied by a couple of guys my age for a couple of years, and I literally did nothing about it. There are a couple different kinds of bullying, that being physical bullying, cyberbullying, and verbal/emotional bullying, and they all can get pretty severe in their own ways. I was around 10 years old when this started happening. Professional wrestling, as in WWE, was the popular thing back then, so yep, you guessed it. These bullies were the physical type. This was only happening during recess at school, and I guess since we were kids and we were always running around on the grass field and stuff like that, nothing really serious ever happened to cause me real injury. But when one of your classmates notices this happening, or you're just standing with a group of your friends and then all of a sudden you get tripped or knocked down from behind, it's kind of embarrassing. It was kind of an occasional thing, but it happened more often than I would have liked, which was zero, and for some reason I never went to a teacher or one of my parents about it. Eventually I got to the 7th grade and I was in a 7-8 split class, so I started hanging out with 8th graders all year, and then it just stopped happening. Think about it, they probably didn't think that they were bullying me or causing me any real harm. They probably thought they were just having fun and practicing some wrestling moves. But the thing is, the fun was all one-sided. Once I got to high school, I decided I wasn't going to let people push me around anymore. I've always been a small guy, but I decided I wasn't going to let that stop me. I was going to say what I wanted to say if I felt something wasn't right. I remember one time in high school I was eating lunch in the caf with a couple of my friends, and then a small group of senior students came over and insisted that we move. Apparently we were in their spot, and they had sat there since their very first year of high school, and they didn't plan on changing their habits for a couple of niners like us. A couple of my friends started to get up, but I told them it was okay, and I don't remember exactly what I said, but I let this guy know that the caf was pretty full and we weren't going anywhere. He of course started swearing and making death threats at me, but his friends weren't nearly as stupid as he was, and they weren't going to make a big deal out of it, so they started leaving and then they took him with them. I guess what I want you to take from these two stories is, number one, if you're being bullied, you have to tell somebody about it. At the time, I didn't know how to deal with my bullies, and for some reason I didn't think my parents would either, but that's completely wrong. Telling somebody you're close with will always work in your favor. The second thing would be to speak up. If there's something going on that you're not comfortable with, say and do something about it. You're at school, so there's definitely teachers around, not to mention a ton of other students. So if you do something and the guy decides to throw a punch, odds are there's going to be someone in that crowd just like you who's willing to jump in and help. If you want to see an older video of mine where I talk about suicide, click the annotation right there. And if you want to see Meet My episode 4 with my little sister, then click the annotation right there. Remember, next week I'm doing another Q&A session, so if you want me to answer your questions, email me at StevensSaysShit@gmail.com or message me on Facebook, Twitter, or right here on YouTube. I'm Steven. Thanks for listening to the Shit I Have to Say. Bye!